The experience of fine tea begins on the eye, continues through the nose, and it is only finally expressed in the palate. So here we have a professional tea tasting set, and that is exactly what this set begins to do. So here we have an infuser which can contain approximately 300 milliliters of water. And so what I'm going to do is to show you how we do it as tea tasters. So I have this teaspoon, which when heaped will give me 2.5 grams. So I'm going to add just a little extra so that I cater to this 300 milliliters of water. So I pour in freshly boiled, once boiled hot water, just to within 0.5 centimeter of the lid, and then I stir. Stirring is so very important when brewing because it is the stirring that gives us the contact between the water and the tea, and that is what allows extraction. So we stir, we leave it for a moment, and typically a black tea requires at least 3 minutes of brewing. If you're serving a guest who's going to drink black tea with milk or other additives, then you should probably push it to about 5 minutes. And the simple principle is this: when you have any beverage, harmony, balance is important. If you add milk to tea, make the tea stronger so that you have balance between the milk and the tea. If the guest is simply having tea on its own, then it's sufficient to brew for 3 minutes. So it's going to give you the brightness, bring you the strength and the intensity in the tea. If it's a green tea, you should brew it for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes if you want a little bit of intensity, but 2 minutes is fine. The same thing for an oolong tea and the same thing for a white tea. So we've stirred 3 times. Let's assume that we've now done this for 3 minutes, and I'm going to show you how to use this infuser. So here you're seeing the teeth. So this is ideally suited for tea that is mid or larger leaf, so a broken orange pico or larger. And remember that the size of leaf is no indicator of quality, it is simply an indicator of strength. So you might get a dust tea, you might get a Fanning's tea, which are small grades, or you might get an OPA or a Pecco. And the simple difference between those, although they are of very different size, they look very different, the fact is the strength. The strength is connected to the surface area that is going to be in contact with the water. And so here I've used a Fanning's because we want intensity. And then what we do is we simply keep the lid on, and through the teeth that you see, we pour the tea out. And at a certain moment, the tea has all filtered out. You bring the leaf onto the lid, and I then present the leaf, and this is how a tea taster assesses the appearance of the leaf on the eye. Here you have a coppery, quite dark infusion, which suggests a quite intense tea, a bright tea because of the copperiness. And then on the nose, beautiful, woody, slightly sweet, fruity character. And so I know that it's going to be a great tea. It's going to be a great breakfast tea. And so when you use the professional tea tasting set to brew a smaller leaf, you might have some of the leaf coming through. That's not a problem. You simply decant it into another cup and back, and then you have a perfect brew. But the most important thing here, you have the leaf, you see the color, present it to the guest. The more coppery, the darker it is, the stronger. If it's a green tea, it could be olive, it could be notes of green, it could be light green to dark green. And so with the liquor, you have the similar characteristics. Lighter means a lighter tea, stronger or darker means more intensity. And the most important thing finally is cheers. Do try it and enjoy.